Your intelligence might be the most expensive thing you own. Not your car, not your lifestyle, not the degree hanging on your wall that cost you 4 years and a small fortune. Your intelligence, the very thing every teacher praised, the thing your parents held up like a trophy, the asset you were told would open every door, might be the exact reason the most important doors are still closed. I know that is uncomfortable. Good. Uncomfortable is the only place this conversation can happen honestly. Because here is what nobody in the personal finance space has the courage to say out loud. The highest earning people in your city are almost never the smartest people in your city. Look around you. The person who owns the car dealership didn't finish college. The guy who built the property portfolio started with one house and a basic spreadsheet. The woman running the most profitable business on your street never read a single book on strategy, scaling, or success. And the smartest person you went to school with? Still trading their time for a salary. Still planning. Still waiting for the conditions to be exactly right. This is not a coincidence. It is not bad luck. It is a trap. And it breaks down into 3 brutal realities that nobody wants to hear. The first reality: smart people overthink entry. Average people just start. When someone of average intelligence decides to build a business, they don't spend 6 months analyzing the market. They don't build a 30-slide deck. They don't consume 200 podcast episodes searching for the perfect framework before they feel qualified to move. They start imperfectly, messily, without all the information. And while they are out there in the real world, accumulating real experience, real failures, and real feedback from the marketplace, the smart person is still in preparation mode, still refining the plan, still waiting until they feel ready enough to risk something. Here is the truth about confidence that nobody teaches you. Confidence does not arrive before you start. It is constructed by starting. Every single day you spend preparing instead of executing is another day your less qualified competitor is lapping you in the market you haven't entered yet. Smart people confuse readiness with action. Average people understand instinctively, without being able to articulate it, that action is what creates readiness. That gap in understanding alone is worth a decade of compounding returns. The second reality is harder to sit with because it lives inside something smart people are proud of. Smart people are addicted to being right, and that addiction is costing them everything. Intelligence comes with a dangerous shadow that nobody talks about honestly. The compulsive, almost physical need to be correct. Smart people have spent their entire lives constructing an identity around knowing more, seeing further, and understanding deeper than the people around them. Which means being wrong is not just an inconvenience. It is a direct attack on who they believe they are. So to avoid being wrong, they avoid risks they cannot fully control. They stay in predictable environments, stable jobs, corporate hierarchies, academic institutions, places where intelligence is recognized, rewarded, and safe. But wealth is not built in safe places. Wealth is built in chaos. Wealth is built in ambiguity. Wealth is built by people who can make a decisive move with 50% of the information and course correct without their ego shattering in the process. The market does not reward you for being right before you begin. It rewards you for being willing to be wrong and continuing anyway. Average people have a intellectual reputation to protect, so they risk without ego attached. They fail without it meaning something catastrophic about their identity. They get up and move again because the only thing at stake was the result, not the story they tell about themselves. Smart people fail once and spend a year building a careful explanation for why it wasn't really their fault. The third reality is the one that will sting the most because the evidence for it is sitting right in front of you. Smart people wait for the perfect idea. Average people execute a boring one and get rich quietly. there is a graveyard of brilliant ideas that never became businesses. They live in leather notebooks, in notes apps, in the back of extraordinary minds that kept refining and improving and waiting for the conditions to finally align perfectly. Meanwhile, the market is full of simple, obvious, completely unglamorous businesses, making their owners quietly wealthy every single month. Laundromats, storage units, cleaning companies, car washes, basic e-commerce stores selling products that require zero intellectual sophistication to understand. Boring, unsexy, completely beneath the dignity of a person with a mind like yours. And that is precisely why you will never build one. The idea is not interesting enough to reflect your intelligence. It does not give you a story worth telling at a dinner party. It does not prove to the world what you have always known about yourself. So, you hold out. You wait for the revolutionary idea, the one that disrupts an industry, the one that finally justifies the exceptional mind you were given. And while you wait, the person who opened the third laundromat in their city just bought their second rental property. New wealth screams, old wealth whispers, and smart people, hungry for the world to recognize their intelligence, are almost always the loudest people in the room and the least wealthy ones at the table. Execution on a mediocre idea defeats perfection on a brilliant one. Every single time, without a single exception. So, what do you actually do with this? The answer is not to become less intelligent. Intelligence is a magnificent tool. The enemy is never intelligence itself. It is intelligence without execution, knowledge without action, endless analysis mistaken for progress. The smartest financial decision you will ever make is to deliberately behave like an average person in the moments that matter most. Start before you are ready. Build the boring business before the beautiful one. Fail without letting it mean a single thing about who you are or what you are worth. And stop waiting for the moment when you will finally know enough to begin. That moment is not coming. It has never come for anyone. The people building real wealth right now do not know enough. They are simply moving while you are still thinking. Intelligence is a tool, and a tool only has value the moment someone picks it up and uses it. The most perfectly designed hammer in the world, sitting untouched in a drawer, has built absolutely nothing. You are not your IQ. You are not your degree. You are not the most interesting mind in a room full of people going nowhere together. You are what you build, what you risk, what you actually start. Stop thinking. Start moving. The average person already has a head start, and they are not losing sleep waiting for you to catch up.